Good morning, class. I hope all are doing well, right? So, today we are going to continue with our previous day's chapter. And what was the title of the chapter? What was the name of the prose that we discussed in the previous class? The story of my life. The story of my life is a chapter that we discussed in the previous class. And who is the author of the story of my life? Helen Keller. Helen Keller is the author of the story of my life. And what happened to Helen when she was 1 year old? At 1 year old, she walked the day. It was the day that she walked. And this is the chapter. The story of my life is the autobiographical story of Helen Keller. What were the seasons mentioned in the story? There were some seasons mentioned in the story that we had discussed in the previous class. And what were they? It includes spring, summer, winter, and autumn. All the 4 seasons have been included in that. And we learned about the capitalization and its functions and where does it use. Now, construct a sentence using capitalization in which the capitalized word should be in between the sentence. The capitalized word should be in between the sentence. Have a look into this sentence. My birthday is on June 24, and the word June, that is the month, the first letter has been capitalized. The letter J is being capitalized because it's a month. Okay. Now, I think everyone has an idea about our previous class, and now we are continuing with the new portion. I fancy I still have confused memories of that illness. I especially remember the tenderness with which my mother tried to soothe me in my waking hours. I also remember the pain and confusion with which I woke up after disturbed sleep. I turned my eyes away from the once loud light, but except for these reflecting memories, it all seems very unreal, like a nightmare. Gradually, I got used to the silence and darkness that surrounded me. I forgot completely that it had all been very different. It was my teacher who changed everything and set my spirit free. But the first 19 months of my life had been different. I had caught glimpses of broad green fields, a luminous sky, and trees and flowers. The darkness followed could not wholly blot them out. Now, what was the memories that haunted Helen Keller? Answer to the question, what was the memories that haunted Helen Keller? The memories of her illness haunted Helen Keller. Who changed Helen Keller's spirit free? A person has been mentioned in the portion that we read, the one who had been made the changes that the Helen Keller's spirit free, and it was her teacher who changed her spirit. It was Helen Keller's teacher who changed her spirit. What did Helen Keller's mother do in her waking hours? Helen Keller's mother used to do something in her waking hours, and it was The mother tried to soothe her in her waking hours. Mother tried to soothe her. What did Helen remember when she woke up after disturbed sleep? Helen used to remember something after her disturbed sleep, and it was her pain and confusions. She used to remember about her pain and confusion after her disturbed sleep. What made her seems unreal like a nightmare? It was her fleeting memories that made her seems unreal like a nightmare. Now have a look into the portion and see whether you have any doubts regarding any of the words and something that you find difficult or something you find exciting words. The first word is blot. What is the specialty of the ink in the picture? Yes, it has been spread. The ink has been spread, and so blot means to spread. And in the second picture we could see that the shining candles is visible in the second picture, and the word luminous means shine bright. And the third picture, in the third picture, what kind of view can you get in the third picture? It's a glimpse of the picture, and the word glimpse means a partially or briefly seen. It's not an incomplete one, right? So the word glimpse means partially or briefly seen. Now answer to my questions. Why were the first 19 months of Helen Keller's life different? Why were the first 19 months of Helen Keller's life different? She had caught glimpses of broad green fields, a luminous sky, trees, and flowers. And it was the days in which Helen Keller could see, and she used to explore the things around her. What did Helen Keller do with her loud lights? What did Helen Keller do with her loud lights? She turned her eyes away from the one's loud light, and it shows her blindness. It shows her blindness. What was made gradually used to Helen Keller? Helen got used to silence and the darkness gradually. Her blindness, her days of blindness has been mentioning here. What effects does the darkness brings? What effects does the darkness brings in Helen Keller? She turned her eyes from the once loud light, and gradually everything becomes a part of her life, and she was used to the she was used to the darkness, which was not familiar so far for her because she could see before and now she is completely blind. Now we have already known about the meaning of the word luminous. Frame a sentence using the word luminous. Her eyes was luminous with joy. And here the shining of the eyes were shining with the happiness. Pick out the words that describes the memories of sights from Helen Keller's early childhood. From the portion that we had read now, pick out the words that describes the memories of sights from Helen Keller's early childhood. We are going to study about a new term, and please go through the symbols that has been given. These symbols are together called as punctuation marks. And punctuation marks are the symbols used to structure written language and convey meaning. And here only I had mentioned a few of the punctuation marks, and the first one is quotation mark. A quotation mark is used to show something that has been written by someone. And the second one is comma. A comma is used to separate items in a list. To list out something in a list, we use comma. And the third one is exclamation mark. After an exclamation, we use an exclamation mark. In a sentence of an exclamation or surprise or showing any anger, we use exclamation mark. The last one is question mark, and it is used to show that it is a question. Question mark is used to show that it is a question. And now today we are discussing only about 4 punctuation marks, and there are also many other punctuation marks. Okay, so the punctuation marks are the symbols used to structure written language and convey meaning. Few of the examples of punctuation marks include quotation mark, comma, exclamation mark, and question mark. Now it's time for a group activity. Write about your favorite teacher. There will be some specific qualities that makes a teacher special for you and for as a favorite teacher, and mention the or list out the factors or the key points that makes a teacher someone special or favorite for you. Try to include the vocabulary that you had learned today, the new vocabulary that you had learned today, and also the punctuation marks. The homework for you for tomorrow is that find the movie about Helen Keller and prepare a note about its features. There is a movie about Helen Keller's life, and so today you have to find out the name of that movie and also prepare a note about its features. Okay, I hope today's class is clear for everyone. Thank you, children, and have a nice day.